Kevin Harvick has become one of the hottest voices in NASCAR prediction circles. And once again, the Hall of Famer is putting his reputation on the line. After correctly predicting back-to-back winners at Chicagoland and Atlanta, Harvick believes he has identified the next driver ready to conquer the historic return of North Wilkesboro Speedway. With NASCAR returning to the legendary track for a points-paying cup race for the first time in 30 years, the pressure and expectations have never been higher. On his Happy Hour podcast, Harvick continued his impressive run alongside Kaitlyn, Vincie, and Mamba Smith. The trio once again revealed their race picks, but the spotlight quickly turned to Harvick's growing dominance in their prediction battle. With 107 points, Harvick holds a massive advantage over Vincie's 72 points and Smith's 62. The two-week winning streak has given Harvick plenty of confidence, and he wasted no opportunity to remind Smith that he remains far ahead in the competition. The playful rivalry became one of the most entertaining moments of the show when Harvick mocked Smith for sitting at the bottom of the standings. After Smith was given the first selection, Harvick joked that even if his rival somehow closed the gap, he would still remain last. The trash talk added extra drama to the prediction segment, but the real controversy came when both Smith and Vincie selected the same driver, championship leader Denny Hamlin. Choosing Hamlin seemed like a safe strategy. The Joe Gibbs racing star has been one of the strongest drivers of the 2026 season and enters North Wilkesboro as one of the favorites. However, Harvick refused to follow the crowd. Instead of choosing the obvious favorite, he made a bold prediction that immediately sparked debate among fans, selecting Christopher Bell as the driver who would take the checkered flag. Harvick's prediction may not be as surprising as some critics believe. Bell has shown tremendous speed throughout the season and entered the weekend as the betting favorite, according to race odds. However, picking Bell over a dominant driver like Hamlin created plenty of discussion, especially because North Wilkesboro is expected to test tire management, patience, and short-track aggression. The question now is whether Harvick has found another winner or whether his hot streak is about to come crashing down. As the field prepares for the historic battle at North Wilkesboro, all eyes are on whether Harvick can continue his unbelievable prediction streak. If Bell delivers the victory, Harvick's reputation as one of NASCAR's sharpest analysts will grow even stronger. But if Hamlin or another contender steals the spotlight, fans will be ready to remind him that even the best predictions can fail under the pressure of race day. One thing is certain, North Wilkesboro is not just a race, it is another test of Harvick's NASCAR instincts. Kyle Larson's 2026 NASCAR Cup Series season has become one of the biggest mysteries in the garage, and Kevin Harvick is sounding the alarm. A driver once considered nearly unstoppable has now gone 44 consecutive races without a victory, creating a level of frustration and pressure that few expected from a superstar of Larson's caliber. While the Hendrick Motorsports driver remains near the top of the standings thanks to his incredible stage point production, Harvick believes the bigger issue is not the lack of wins, it is the way Larson is losing them. Speaking on his Happy Hour podcast, Harvick admitted that Larson's situation is difficult to understand. Statistically, Larson remains one of the strongest drivers in NASCAR, sitting 6th in points and leading the entire series in stage points. Yet despite those impressive numbers, something has been missing. According to Harvick, the gap between Larson's potential and his actual results has become impossible to ignore. For a driver expected to dominate races and compete for championships, simply collecting points is no longer enough. The former Cup champion's biggest concern is not Larson's speed, it is the mistakes. Harvick pointed to several recent incidents where Larson appeared to make uncharacteristic errors, including situations where he put himself in difficult positions or made aggressive moves that backfired. For a driver with Larson's experience and talent, those moments have raised eyebrows throughout the NASCAR community. Harvick believes those lapses in concentration are the real warning signs because a championship contender cannot afford repeated mistakes when opportunities are limited. The criticism has sparked debate among fans, with some defending Larson and others questioning whether the pressure is beginning to affect him. Supporters argue that Larson is still one of the most naturally gifted drivers in the sport, and that every superstar goes through difficult stretches. However, critics believe the expectations at Hendrick Motorsports are different. When a team has championship-level equipment and a driver with Larson's reputation, long winless streaks inevitably create uncomfortable questions. Harvick made it clear that he does not believe Larson's struggles represent the end of his elite career. He praised Larson's ability behind the wheel, his partnership with crew chief Cliff Daniels, and the overall strength of Hendrick Motorsports. But he also admitted that this season has fallen short of the incredibly high standard Larson has created for himself. The concern is not that Larson has lost his talent, it is whether the mounting pressure is causing mistakes that could continue costing him major victories. Now, the biggest question surrounding Kyle Larson is whether this is simply a temporary slump or a deeper problem developing inside NASCAR's most watched team. Is the winless streak creating frustration that is leading to more mistakes? The Brickyard 400 is entering a new and unpredictable era, and for the first time in decades, Indianapolis Motor Speedway has no clear king sitting on the throne. For years, the legendary oval belonged to a select group of NASCAR icons: Jeff Gordon, Jimmy Johnson, Kevin Harvick, Tony Stewart, Kyle Busch, and Dale Jarrett drivers who repeatedly conquered one of the sport's most prestigious events. Their dominance created an image of the Brickyard as a race controlled by legends. But that era has disappeared, and now the crown remains without a ruler. The current generation has completely changed the landscape. Brad Keselowski, Kyle Larson, and defending winner Bubba Wallace are the only active drivers entering this weekend with Brickyard 400 victories, and none of them have won the oval race more than once. The idea of an Indianapolis specialist, the driver everyone fears before the green flag even drops, has vanished. Instead, NASCAR fans are preparing for a battle where almost anyone with the right car, strategy, and a little luck could kiss the bricks and become the next surprise champion of the Brickyard. However, not everyone believes this new unpredictability is a positive development. Some former drivers and longtime NASCAR observers argue that the disappearance of dominant Indianapolis figures has taken away part of the race's identity. Critics believe the Brickyard was special because it rewarded greatness over time, allowing elite drivers to build a legacy through repeated victories. They argue that the modern version, with late cautions, fuel gambles, and overtime chaos, has turned one of NASCAR's crown jewels into a survival contest rather than a true test of superiority. The criticism has intensified because of how recent Brickyard races have unfolded. The driver who leads the most laps has won only a handful of recent editions, while dramatic late race restarts have often decided the outcome. Fuel strategy, weather interruptions, and unpredictable cautions have become defining factors. Some fans have questioned whether Indianapolis is still rewarding the best driver in the field, or simply the team that can survive NASCAR's late race chaos. Yet supporters of the modern Brickyard argue that this unpredictability is exactly what makes the event exciting again. The next-gen car has reshaped the competitive balance, making it harder for one organization to completely dominate. Kyle Larson's 2024 victory and Bubba Wallace's dramatic 2025 triumph showed that winning at Indianapolis still requires speed, discipline, and smart decision-making. The difference is that today's champions must now survive a wild final chapter rather than simply control the entire afternoon. As the 2026 Brickyard 400 approaches, the biggest question is whether a new Indianapolis king is about to emerge. Larson appears to have the strongest modern claim after finishing first and second in the last two next-gen oval races.